Now let's take a look at using parameters. And in this video, which by the way is part 1, which is entitled Property Parameterization, I'm going to show you how we're going to use parameters to basically set different values on things like our connection string. And there's a lot of different things we can set these on, and I'll show them to you here. Now in part 1, first of all, I want to show you how I've got this set up. I've got this clever little idea to show you how this is going to work. What I'm going to do first of all is show you that out in the SQL Server Management Studio, I went out there and created a couple of tables. In the AdventureWorks 2012 database, notice right here, here I am, I created a table just called param test. Okay, right there it is. And notice that if I do a select from this database, I've only got one row in this table. Notice it has a database column that says AdventureWorks 2012 DW, Kristen Lee, salary 97.5. Then I set a table with the exact same name, the exact same structure called param test in my VTC DW database. And right here is that query. And notice I have only one row, and it says VTCDW for the database, Mark Long, 75,000 for the salary. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to parameterize, tough word to say, this initial catalog property in our connection string. All right, and then by giving it a different parameter, we can call different databases. And this is something that you'll see on the exam. You'll use this a lot in real life. And so let's just kind of start to step through this. The first thing we need to do, obviously, is get a connection manager. And so I'm going to grab a new OLADB connection. I have one out there for AdventureWorks DW 2012, and so I will take that one. So I'm okay there. Everything looks good. And then I'm just going to come out here, execute SQL task, okay? And actually, no, I won't. I'll do a data flow task. How about that? Because what I actually want to do is execute a command and drop it into a flat file. So the first thing I want to do, though, is I want to click on my connection manager and right-click, and notice this little option right here, parameterize. Now, if I choose parameterize, notice it shows me the properties up here that I can parameterize. And there's a lot of different things I can do this with, but for now I'm going to work with the connection string. All right. Notice I can choose initial catalog. Now initial catalog in English means database. And so I will take initial catalog and I will create a new parameter, okay, and I'll just call it dbase choice. All right, so there's my dbase choice. Notice the scope of this is the package, and I don't want to make this required, okay? I'll just be able to choose it if I would like. And so I will click OK here. Just like that, I've parameterized it. Now, notice if I go over here to parameters, I can see that I have a database choice. The type is string, and notice I could change that if I would like, but I'll leave it at string. And the current value is AdventureWorks DW 2012. Sensitive, if I check this, I can hide that value or basically encrypt it so you can't see it on the screen and that sort of thing. Okay, so now let's go back into our data flow task and let's start to set up the magic here. First of all, I'm going to go to the source assistant and I will go into AdventureWorks DW, and then I will double click my data source. And I want to run a SQL command. Okay, and what I'm going to do is say select everything from the table that I created. I think it was called param test, was it not? Yes, from DBO param test. Now if I preview this query, notice if it's against AdventureWorks DW 2012, it comes back as AdventureWorks 2012 Kristen Lee. And then if I were to go up here and change this right to my VTC DW, then it would pull from there. Okay, so for now we're going to leave this alone. That's the columns we're pulling, and I'll take that. All right, then I'm going to dump that out to a flat file, and I think I put that up there in my favorites, and I did. I'll do a flat file destination and bring that down. Hang on, I got to click right on that thing. I don't think I got it that time either. There we go. And now I'll double click my flat file and set this up. Okay, I'll need a new file connection manager for my flat file. So I'll take delimited. There it is. Takes just a minute sometimes. Then I'll click on browse and tell it the name of the file that I'm going to use. I'm just going to call it a ptest text file, and I will put that out on the desktop so we can see it. All right, and then I'll click open, and I'll put column names in the first row. I'll look at my columns here. That looks good. I'll click OK, and then I'll hit my mapping so that we can see it, and I'm going to stop right here and join me in part 2, and we'll continue.